So one thing I get a lot of questions about is what's wrong with someone's bird? And the fact is that I can observe just as you can, and I can see that a bird is puffed up like this one. He has abnormal droppings, or maybe he has a sick behavior, but I can't tell by looking at a bird what his illness is. The fact is that people can tell you for sure what illness the bird has, and they can be dead wrong. I see it on the internet all the time. For example, the signs of coccidia: puffed up, sleeping a lot, lethargy, and watery droppings. Those are the same signs you might see with E. coli or even canker. And people are all the time saying mites. You know, mites are not the cause of most symptoms of illness. They cause specific problems, but those should be very clear. Clicking with the breath, that's air sac mites. Itching and scratching a lot, and so on. But if your bird has abnormal droppings, most of the time you can drop mites off the list. In order to really know what is wrong with your bird, you'll want to visit with a certified avian veterinarian. I happen to live in an area where there are quite a few. I'm lucky that way. But still, the vet may not be able to diagnose a tiny finch. That's because they're reluctant to draw blood. It can kill your bird, and the blood panel tells us a lot. Plus, going to the vet is expensive. I wanted to call this video Never Say Never because there's going to be that time when you paid a small amount for a bird, but the vet bill is going to be astronomical. And you go ahead and say yes because you love that bird. Case in point, I just took my cockatiel to the vet last week. I spent over $500, did not even do all the recommended tests. He wanted to do an x-ray, and I said no. And I did not get a diagnosis, although we're hoping to get one this week. That was a $50 bird, but she's part of the family. No way were we going to let her suffer and possibly die, so you pay the bill. But if you don't have access to an avian vet, or you don't have the funds, here are a few things you can keep on hand to help a sick bird. Now, this is the cage I'm using, an even smaller one. You want it to be a small, clean cage that's ideally always ready for use. The small size helps your bird to conserve energy by not having to fly around to get its food and water. Obviously, small is a relative term. You'll want a tiny cage for a finch and a slightly bigger one for a budgie or cockatiel. Next, you want to have your electrolytes. And I had some, and I've carried them off. These are bird-specific products called Thrive by Morning Bird or Guardian Angel by the Bird Care Company. I love these products. I feel that without Guardian Angel, I could have lost birds a couple of different times. Whenever you have an ill bird, just put some Guardian Angel or Thrive into his water. You'll be amazed at the difference in energy. Just remember that it's sort of a false energy. In other words, it's going to wear off. The bird is not well. You've just given him energy so he will continue to eat and drink. Heat. I use a ceramic heat bulb. It gives off minimal heat. You don't want to cook your bird. And I put it over to one side so the bird can perch under it or move away if it feels like it. So that bulb is going to go here when I get the cage moved a little closer to a power source. And that way he can perch there, or he can move over if he chooses to, and get out from under the heat for a little bit. Medication. Now, I am hesitant to medicate a bird without a diagnosis. In fact, let me just tell you, with my cockatiel, I was pretty sure that I was seeing avian gastric yeast. It's a really nasty disease. And I was convinced that that's what my bird had. But it turned out, according to the vet, I was dead wrong. Now, this is okay, because I didn't take any steps toward it. Instead, I took her to the vet. But if I had treated for it, that would have been a waste of time, and possibly she could have become more ill while I was mistreating her. That said, I do keep some medications in my arsenal. One is called 4-in-1. It's by MedPet. It treats several types of illnesses, and if you aren't sure what's wrong, it can be useful. Just understand that the disease your bird has may fall outside the parameters of this medication. Now, this is not the 4-in-1. This is trimethoprim sulfa powder, but I'm planning to use this on this bird. It has already had the 4-in-1 powder. This one treats E. coli, paratyphoid, and coccidiosis. So I guess this is a 3-in-1. So that's the medication he's going to get today. Another item I keep on hand is neem leaves. Neem is not strictly a medicine, but if you use the leaves and make a tea with it, it can be really helpful. Neem is said to have immunomodulatory, anti-inflammatory, anti-hyperglycemic, anti-ulcer, anti-malarial, antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral, antioxidant, anti-mutagenic, and anti-carcinogenic properties. And that is according to PubMed. So I will make a neem tea at least once monthly for my flock. If I have a sick bird, I give it this tea in place of its water for 7 days up to 30 days. I'm going to make you a video on how to make neem tea. It's really easy. So those are a few things you can keep on hand to use for a sick bird. Hopefully they will be useful to you while you're waiting on that vet appointment. Often a small dose of heat and electrolytes will get a bird turned around and back to normal. Thanks for listening, and if you found this video useful, please click like and subscribe.